Yes, sir. All right. Good morning. Welcome to the March post-commission meeting. Our chair and vice chair are unable to be with us this morning. And so we'll look to any volunteers that want to step into the role of chair of this meeting this morning.
Looking at you.
Commissioner Wright, would you just do us the honors as one of the longest serving members on the commission at the moment? That's cheaper.
That miles as an honor.
Well, I looked that way and he got a little nervous.
I need
He wasn't headed for the door yet.
Ready?
Glasses.
Good morning, everyone. I'd like to call the order of the March 20th, 2026 post commission. If everybody's had an opportunity to look over the agenda, I would entertain a motion to approve, Mr. Chair.
Second.
Motion to approve, Sheriff Parton, second by Commissioner Lane. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All right, moving on to administrative matters.
We do have two matters to be added to the agenda. If Lena wants to brief us in rather quickly, I think they're short and sweet. We can add those to the back of the agenda.
Yeah, for the addendum, this is actually all, there is an agreed order of surrender for Sean Sajak, and there is also an agreed order for pending litigation for Todd Doris. If we could add those, please.
Make a motion to add those to the agenda.
Wilbur, second.
Fair motion to add those two to the agenda. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Secretary, call the roll.
All right, Commissioner Carter,
Here.
Commissioner Doggett, Commissioner Green, here, Commissioner Jackson, Commissioner Jeffers, here, Commissioner Parton,
Here.
Commissioner Russell, here, Commissioner Spangler, Commissioner Wilbur,
Here.
Vice Chair Leggins, Chairman Beverly, and Commissioner Wright.
Here.
Commissioner, you have it.
Thing. The disclaimer, please.
All post commissioners have previously agreed to recuse themselves from any vote that would constitute a conflict of interest. The most obvious of these would include issues that involve our own departments or some we know personally. Because we have already agreed to this, it should be noted that on routine matters, it will be assumed non-verbally that these commissioners have abstained from the vote. In bigger, more controversial issues that may have a more overt conflict of interest or may have a bigger appearance of impropriety, those applicable commissioners will still verbally abstain from those votes.
All right, everybody's had a chance to look over the minutes that the people that were here for February, the commissioner that were here in February, I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes.
Mr. Jefferson makes a motion to approve.
Russell, second.
Mr. Jeffers, Russell, second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Moving on to the report of decertification by the civil community.
In the matter of Chance Cuban of the Chattanooga Police Department, the recommendation was to take no action. In the matter of William Evans of the Hancock County Sheriff's Office, the matter was referred to a formal hearing. In the matter of Isabella Desposito of Johnson City, that was continued to next month. In the matter of Todd Doris, Millersville Police Department, there is a signed agreed order. In the matter of Brian Childress, the Millington Police Department, recommendation was to take no action. In the matter of Kurt Scothern of the Mount Juliet Police Department, recommendation was default order of decertification. In the matter of Benjamin Gilkey of the New Bern Police Department, that matter was continued to next month. In the matter of Rick Baker, the recommendation was to take no action. In the matter of Jacob Bird of the Washington County Sheriff's Office, the recommendation was a default order of decertification.
A motion to approve the subcommittee hearing.
Motion.
Commissioner Green, second.
Motion by Commissioner Barton, seconded by Commissioner Green. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Moving on to pre-employment requirements.
The Pitcher Fork Police Department requested criminal record waiver for Skylar Siegel. In January of 2012, Mr. Siegel was charged with DUI in Knox County. Mr. Siegel was found guilty of the charge and has since satisfied all court-ordered sentencing fines and fees.
All right, Pigeon Forge Police Department.
Good morning. I'm Chief Cottle, Big Force PD, Skylar Siegel. So I appreciate the time this morning to consider us for a waiver. Skylar, 12 years ago, I'll let him dig into that. Just the PD side of it, our stance is we've done, a very serious background on him. He spent 9 years in the Navy, very stellar career in the Navy, has very high recommendations coming out of the military. As a former military guy myself, I understand the importance of sometimes you make a mistake and you get your life back on track. And I believe that's what Skylar has done. So I'm going to let him spill his guts to you.
Hi, good morning, Skylar Siegel. So in January of 2012, 14 years ago, essentially what had happened is I went out for a birthday event. I had a designated driver plan. We were at the event, my designated driver ended up drinking alcohol, being young and making an irrational decision. I chose to get behind the wheel. I was pulled over for DUI, ended up serving my time. I did everything that I could, and that impact essentially led for me joining the military. And while I was in the military, I was able to obtain leadership skills and life skills and better decision making and being able to really like assess situations that I put myself in. And since that event, I don't drink. I became married, have 2 children, and we essentially made the decision for me to stop active duty service and move back home to Tennessee so my kids can be around our family. And so, like the chief had said, I'm not done providing service to people, and the best way that I see fit is continuing to serve my community and the place that I love, which is Tennessee and Sevier County. So I just hope that you all give me the opportunity for this waiver. Thank you.
Commissioner Wilbur, I'm looking at the affidavit of complaint. It says you were driving the wrong way on Highway 40.
Yes, Commissioner. So essentially what has happened is in Knoxville off of Global Road, whenever I left the Cotton Eye Joe's bar that was there, whenever I'm unfamiliar with that area, whenever you are leaving, there is 4 lanes. The furthest 2 lanes are labeled as turn lanes at a certain red light that comes for the on-ramp to get off of that exit. What had happened is instead of realizing at 2 o'clock in the morning, I was drinking, that I needed to go to the next light, obviously because I was inebriated. I made a turn onto that ramp, noticed that I was on the wrong way on the interstate, turned around at the bottom of the ramp. And that was where the violation occurred that I got called in on to the Knox County Sheriff's Department.
It says there were 7 different 911 calls about a driver going wrong way. So those 7 calls happened in a very short amount of time because you didn't even get on the highway.
I made it all the way to the bottom of the ramp, Commissioner. As far as from what I recall, made it to the bottom of the ramp, realized I was in oncoming traffic and had turned around. At the time that I had turned around, I'm assuming from the course of action, it was an abrupt U-turn and it had made me nauseous, so I pulled off the ramp and that was what happened.
How old were you then?
I had just turned 22.
Do you still drink? Thank you.
Commissioner Carter, what was the results of your blood test?
What I remember, Commissioner, I think it was like 0.19. It was well above the legal limit. I do not recall the exact number.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Other questions from the commissioners, from the department, or?
Commissioner Green, motion to approve. Commissioner Lane, second.
A motion to approve by Commissioner Green, seconded by Commissioner Lane. All in favor, any discussion? Discussion, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Congratulations, Mr. Schuyler.
Thank you all so much. I really appreciate this opportunity.
Don't let us down.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you all, appreciate it.
Thank you, Chief. Appreciate it.
Moving on to waivers to attend the student academy.
The Lawrence County Sheriff's Office requests a waiver to change academies for Joseph Aaron Mashburn, hired in February of 2026. In September of 2025, Mr. Mashburn attended the Tennessee Law Enforcement Training Academy but did not complete due to an injury. The agency is requesting a waiver so he may attend the Walter State Law Enforcement Training Academy in April.
All right, do we have Lawrence County or Mr. Mashburn with us here or on video?
I believe that's online.
Yes, sir, we're here.
Ready? Who do we have the pleasure of talking to?
This is the Lieutenant O'Rourke with the Lawrence County Sheriff's Office. I'm the training lieutenant in GDI, and I have Deputy Mashburn here with me.
Commissioner Wilbur, what was the injury?
LCL, it was a knee injury.
Have you recovered enough?
Yes, ma'am, very much so. Good to go for sure.
Commissioner Russell, motion to approve.
Pardon, second.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Russell, seconded by Mr. Corbin. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Lawrence County, looks like you're all good to go.
All right. Thank you, guys. You guys have a great day.
Administrative waivers.
Waivers of in-service. The Brentwood Police Department requests a waiver of in-service for Kyle Riddle, hired December 8th of 2025. Did not complete his required training for the calendar year due to the time of hire. Waivers keeps the agency in the office in compliance.
Partner, make a motion to approve.
Russell, second.
Okay, I have a motion to approve by Commissioner Parton, seconded by Commissioner Russell. Is Brentwood online with us this morning?
Yes, commissioners and post commissions, Captain Zach Hartman with Brentwood Police Department. I serve as our training coordinator as well as the GDI.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion carries. For the Brentwood, looks like you're good to go on that.
Thank you, Commission.
The Clinton Police Department requests a waiver of in-service for Matthew Garland, hired March of 2021. Mr. Garland completed 41 hours of training, but did not complete the mental illness mandate for the 2025 calendar year. The waiver keeps the agency and the officer in compliance.
The Clinton Police Department, you present?
They are on.
If you're on with us, it looks like your video is extremely slow and muted.
Do we know if the officer has completed the mental illness segment? Route, do we know if he's done it or not?
I have our folks look him up real quick.
Clint, if you can see, if you can hear, shake your head if he has completed his, okay. That's what I'm looking for.
All right.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Carter, second. I have a motion to approve by Commissioner Parton, seconded by Commissioner Carter. Any discussion?
Just for the record, that was a thumbs up on the video.
No discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Right, the Fentress County Sheriff's Office requests a waiver of in-service for Casey Geisler. Mr. Geisler did not complete the required training for the 2025 calendar year and with sufficient 4 hours of in-service training, the waiver will allow the agency and the officer to remain in compliance.
Mr. Chairman, I'll have to abstain. I know Mr. Gauss.
Looks like I'll put this in a,
That's legitimate abstain.
not enough papers issue.
For
But do you have a legitimate?
Ventures County, are you on with us?
Abstain if it's Venture County.
I'm the president, not so.
Yes, they are.
I was saying, I think the majority, we still have a majority vote, even if you voted no or abstained.
Can he vote president, not voting?
We've got a little administrative matter there to get worked out. Ventures County, are you with us? See, Betty stepping up, standing there here.
He is on, he's unmuted, but he doesn't have a video on.
Is it the D Woodward?
believe so.
Is he just short 4 hours or is he?
Was it short 4 hours long? Was it?
Yes, sir. He was just short.
What segment? Do we know?
It sounds like he's just short of the 40. Probably completed his mandate, just did not get the 40.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Mr. Lane, second.
We have a motion to approve by Commissioner Parham, second by Commissioner Lane. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? County, even though you're having some technical difficulties, look like we got you passed through. Moving on to
The Gadsden Police Department requests a waiver of in-service for Avery Millsaps, hired July 2025. He completed 50 hours of training, but did not complete the DUI refresher mandate for that calendar year. The waiver keeps the agency and the officer in compliance with those rules.
Gadsden Police Department with us. This is the one, West Tennessee.
Which,
It is, it's extremely small.
It's the. Remind me again what the hours is for, I know the DUI refresher is for certain officers hired after a certain date, they have to. It's kind of weird, but
yes, sir.
what is the requirement of this?
There is, it's just like child sex abuse or mental illness, it's up to the agency. So it could be 30 minutes, it could be 2 hours. It's, up to the agency to determine how much training that is.
So they on video, or they had any updates?
Millsaps for Gadsden Police Department.
The officer does not get an in-service check because he didn't complete the mandate. So this just kind of rolls him over to the next calendar year. And if for whatever reason, he does not complete his in-service for 2026, then the commission can hold him accountable, because the rules to allow us to do that to a disciplinary hearing.
I'll make a motion to approve to keep the police department in compliance.
Commissioner Green, I'll second.
I have a motion by Commissioner Parham, second by Commissioner Green to keep the department in compliance. Any discussion?
You guys have something?
According to Cadus, as of 3/9/26, he resigned in lieu of termination. So that's probably why they're not.
So the motion's appropriate.
I'll renew my motion.
All right, the motion was to approve the department, get them in compliance, and not Mr. Green, not Mr. Millsap. Oh, wait a minute, second by Commissioner Green. All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? Moving on to Hendersonville.
The Hendersonville Police Department requests an in-service waiver for Daniel Bush. He did not complete required training for 2025, was deficient 8 hours of in-service. Waiver keeps the agency and the officer in compliance.
All right, Henry.
Good morning. Morning, Commissioner. I'm Lawrence Daniel, the Commander of Support Services for Hendersonville Police Department and GDI. Officer Bush is a reserve officer with our department. He's also a full-time firefighter and paramedic for our city. His role as a reserve officer, is a member of our SWAT team. So you have a paramedic that travels with them when they do their missions and operations. We brought him on as a reserve officer so that he could be properly trained and armed in the event during an operation, he'd be able to defend himself appropriately. So that's his membership as far as being a reserve police officer. Not compensated as a reserve officer, but when he does his missions, fire department compensates him as being a paramedic.
Any questions from the commissioners?
So, what we got Hendersonville here, I'm moving on down to, Beth Moran and Craig Senator. Is that a similar situation?
Yes, sir. Each one that I'm here for today, they are all reserve officers. Daniel Bush was the only one that's also a full-time firefighter though, that works for the city in that manner. The rest have other full-time jobs that are not police department.
So these are not full-time employees?
They are not. They are volunteers. And this is the first time we've had reserve officers not meet their in-service training requirements for the year. They each had individual circumstances. Daniel Bush actually, his was a paternity thing. He had a child born during time, so he missed the training day, but he lost his 8 hours. Ms. Moran, she had lacked 5 hours. She has since made those up. I gave instructions to all of them at the beginning of the year that since they were delinquent from last year, they were going to be required to make up those hours, not be allowed to work until they had done so. And also additionally still achieve all of their requirements for discount. In the event that does not happen, and they're able to complete their hours last year or get their hours this year, we would obviously terminate their position as a volunteer with our.
Being that these are not full-time paid, I appreciate Hendersonville's forthcoming about reserve officers and the training. That's very seldom heard of, especially with reserve units. I commend you for that, and I will hardly know that you will be a man of your word, and these folks will get the training, and I appreciate them volunteering to help you in special services and whatnot. But based off that, to keep Hendersonville in compliance, I'll make a motion to pass or comply for all three of those in the docket.
Russell, second.
We have a motion to take all three of the Hendersonville matters up in one. We have a motion to approve. Form second by Commissioner Russell. Any discussion?
And just for a point of discussion, we'll probably see more of these in the future as we have passed rules that are going to require stricter reporting and documentation for our part-time reserves. A lot of our agencies are going ahead and getting ahead of that and putting their folks in the cadence and tracking those hours. And so where in the past, those matters never came before the commission. A lot of agencies are just kind of dotting the i's across the t's and making sure that they're getting that taken care of. So in the event that we start to see reserve and part-time folks on the agendas, and you're wondering why that, because we've never seen it in the past. So.
All right, everybody clear on the motion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carries.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Commander.
Moving on to Metro.
Metro National Parks Police request a waiver for Derek Adenberger. Mr. Adenberger did not complete the required training for the 2025 calendar year due to being on administrative leave for a pending investigation. The waiver allows the agency and the officer to remain in compliance. Good morning.
Good morning. Kevin Aper, Metro Nashville Park Police. Both subjects were placed on administrative leave, decommissioned of their police powers in August. The Metro Nashville Police Department conducted OPA, Office of Professional Accountability, conducted an investigation into the matter. That's still ongoing. My understanding is the investigation is complete, but they're waiting for disciplinary.
And that's where Mr. Adenberger and Ms. Shelton.
That's correct.
Questions from the commission?
I'll make a motion to keep Metro Parks Police in compliance without the two said officers at the top of page 6.
Mr. Jeffers, second.
We'll have a motion by Commissioner Carter, second by Commissioner Jeffers, to keep the agency in compliance, but not the officers. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carries.
Thank you.
Minot Hill Police Department requests a waiver of in-service for Brandon Beard. Mr. Beard did not complete the required training for the 2025 calendar year and is deficient 2.5 hours of in-service training. Waiver keeps the agency and the officer in compliance.
Honor Hill, you online with us?
Yes, sir.
Good morning. Who we had the pleasure of speaking with?
That's Brandon Beard himself.
What can you tell us about this matter?
I just miscalculated my hours for the year. I think I had all the basic stuff. I'm just a reserve here.
You was just short 2.5, but not in any of the mandated.
Correct.
Any questions from any commissioner?
Motion to approve.
Russell, second.
A motion to approve the Sheriff Barton, second by Commissioner Russell. Any discussions?
Yeah, Mr. Beard, how many officers are at Minor Hill now?
We have 2 full-time and about 3 or 4 reserves that help out.
It's grown since last time I got stopped. You top that hill at Minor Hill, you get to meet somebody there every once in a while.
Yes, sir.
You.
Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Good to go. All right, Oakland Police Department.
The Oakland Police Department requested a waiver of in-service for Joshua Best. He completed 41 hours of training, but did not complete the mental illness mandate. Waiver will keep the agency and the officer in compliance.
All right, Oakland Police Department or Best, anyone up with us?
Yeah, we're here.
Good morning. Who we have the pleasure of talking with?
Chief Gaines, I'm the GDI, and Officer Best is present.
Okay. Have we got this? Have we done the mental illness mandate? Have we already done it for 2026?
No, sir, not yet, not for 26. Officer Vest took a mental health class and mistaken it as a mandated class. And when I reviewed it, I overlooked that as well. He did complete 41 hours of in-service.
Is this gonna be one of those Cadus deals?
Kevin Creed, Post Investigator. This was one that last month they did the approval for the VA Academy. These waivers were already submitted in prior to that.
We kind of got that straightened out. Anything that's on V, if it's on V Academy, it needs to
Yeah,
be.
it's over.
I make a motion to approve.
Mr. Lane, second.
All right. Motion to approve, Commissioner Parliament, seconded by Commissioner Lane. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, moving on to Oneida.
United Police Department requests a waiver of in-service for Chad Jones. He completed 58 hours of in-service training, but did not complete the child sex abuse for 2025. Waiver keeps the officer and the agency in compliance. Is this going to be a similar
Same
situation?
situation, yeah.
Mr. Chairman, I'll have to abstain. I know it's Mr. Jones.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to approve.
Russell, second.
A motion to approve by Commissioner Parliament, seconded by Commissioner Russell. Any discussion?
I think we're gonna have several of these as we go along. Is that right? Or we're not?
These were actually submitted before the waiver was approved in the last meeting, so this actually should probably be out yet.
Okay. All right, any other discussion? All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to Whiteville.
Whiteville Police Department requests a waiver of in-service for Benny Davis. He completed 32 hours of training, but is deficient the 8 hours of firearms training for the 2025 calendar year. Waiver keeps the agency and the officer in compliance.
Whiteville Police Department, notice you have a couple in here. Are you with us this morning?
Yes, sir. I'm here to represent myself and Officer Gray. He's not able to be here today. He's actually completing a 40-hour CIT class today.
Okay, are we speaking with Mr. Davis?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Have you already got yourself caught back up and done your 2026 firearms yet?
Yeah, so what the issue was with the firearms, we actually had, the training that was sent in, the actual roster shows 2 different dates where we did an 8-hour, daytime, shooting and an 8-hour, nighttime shooting. The daytime was on November the 25th, 2025, and the nighttime was December the 5th, 2025. We have a new GDI. Whenever he submitted the lesson plan, I believe only 8 hours was approved for the firearms. So I was looking at the other 8 hours for the specialized nighttime shooting that we did, and that was not completed. So that's what made me short for my 40 hours of in service.
Question for me, Commissioner?
Well, and what it sounds like is that your lesson plan may have, instead of being submitted for 16 hours, it's submitted for 8. So you actually did firearms training. So you're actually just short 8 hours, not to get the firearms mandate. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. So on the bottom of the roster that was submitted with the firearms, it actually shows 16 hours total firearms training for myself and our whole department. So yes, that's pretty much seems to be what happened.
Gotcha. And so, and just to kind of explain to the commission a little bit, because they only requested for 8 on their lesson plan when they submitted 16, when we processed it, we're not going to give you double. They only got the 8, which is why they're short. But, you know, he would have completed the mandatory firearms training for the calendar year.
Commissioner Green, motion to approve.
Okay, since these are a little bit separate,
Just for Mr. Green.
handle these.
For Mr. Davis, just for Mr. Davis.
Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion to approve Mr. Davis by Commissioner Green, seconded by Commissioner Barton. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Mr. Davis, we'll move on to Mr. Gray. What can you tell us about him?
Officer Gray actually had, I think 1 or 2 classes that he may have missed. I forgot what his total amount of hours that he was short on. He completed the actual classes on Virtual Academy before the midnight deadline, but he did not take the actual test until it rolled over past midnight. So of course, Virtual Academy is not going to be able to, I'm not going to be able to see that he completed it for the 2025, and I'm not going to be able to pull up the 2026 to show what time that he actually completed it. So yeah, that's where he's at on that, but he has completed his mandated courses so far for this year, and he's actually about to be done completing a 40-hour CIT training at Madison County Sheriff's Department.
A motion approved by Mr. Barton. Seconded by Commissioner Carter. Say if I want to tell Mr. Gray next time, I have to wait till last day, last hour. Right.
Yeah, sir, you're right.
All right, any other discussion? All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, well, looks like y'all are good. Move on.
All right, thank y'all.
All right, moving on to waivers of the 6-month rule.
Mount Pleasant Police Department requested a 6-month waiver for Carson McDougal, hired in February 2026. He's unable to begin training due to class availability. He is scheduled to come to Toledo in July 2026.
Mount Pleasant, are you with us?
Motion to approve. Commissioner Green, second.
Have a motion to approve by Commissioner Green, seconded by, I'm sorry about Commissioner Barton, seconded by Commissioner Green. Any discussion? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. Moving on to consent agenda items.
Mr. Chairman, I've looked through the consent agenda and I will make a motion to approve all items contained therein.
Second.
All right, I have a motion to approve the consent agenda items and seconded by Commissioner Russell. Is there any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to old business.
Old business, the Hardin County Sheriff's Office, they request a waiver of in-service for Seamus Lewis. Was deferred to February meeting. He didn't complete required training for the calendar year due to a domestic assault charge that was dismissed as of April 15th of 2025. The waiver will allow both the agency and the officer to remain in compliance. And it is my understanding that Mr. Lewis is no longer with the agency.
All right, Hardin County, are you with us this morning?
Yes, sir, I'm here.
All right, who we have the pleasure of speaking with?
I'm sorry, can you hear me?
And we can hear you now.
Okay.
Who do you have the pleasure of speaking with this morning?
This is Sergeant Max Harry. I'm the training director for the Hardin County Sheriff's Office.
Sergeant, what can you tell us about Mr. Lewis?
You know, you mean here recently or from?
No, this isn't pertains as to, it looks like y'all just need a waiver to keep y'all in compliance.
Well, I'll just give you the backstory is he was arrested, and I think in April of 2025 on a domestic. He got that dismissed and expunged. He was allowed to come back to work. Then in June, he was arrested again. This time it was aggravated. He was suspended in June, from June 25 into the 2026 year. So he did not complete his in-service because of his suspension. On March the 9th, he was indicted by a grand jury for aggravated assault. And his employment, he no longer is employed here since that indictment. So he's not an employee of this agency anymore.
Sergeant, is he, have y'all, I think we asked last time, have y'all submitted, for him for informal for decertification?
I don't think that the sheriff did. I talked to him about it yesterday. I don't know if he's going to. I don't know the process on that. He said if post commission wanted to pursue decertification, nobody would have any objections to that. I don't know that he's going to submit anything.
I think you need to go have a heart-to-heart with the high sheriff there, and I think he has a due diligence obligation based off of what you just stated on public record for all the world to see on YouTube.
That's fine. I can talk to him. Like I said, I'm just stating the facts of Mr. Lewis's, each time he's been to court and what he was indicted for, which I did send those copies of that indictment to post to I believe Miss Taylor should have copies of those. I'm just stating the facts as what they are. I'll talk to him about it again.
Okay. Well, just, you're doing a great job. I appreciate your honesty and frankness, and, yeah, it's great. I'm gonna make a motion to approve Hardin County without, the former deputy Lewis involved.
Commissioner Green, I'll second.
All right, we have a motion to keep the department in compliance with our Commissioner Porter and second by Commissioner Green. Any discussion? May need to be some discussion on what to do with Mr. Lewis, which the department's not going to do anything. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
All right, we moving on to the post meeting dates and location for West Tennessee. We had previously had some discussion and agreed upon some dates in September. We were not aware when we agreed that legal had already looking to schedule a formal that's coming out of East Tennessee. So that's quite a hike for those guys to come from Washington County all the way out to Memphis. So they wanted to bring that matter back up and see if how the commission wanted to move forward with either the formal or the meeting date and see what you guys come to. And feel free to chime in if I miss anything.
And I apologize that y'all were
having to make those decisions when I wasn't here last month.
And I'm sorry, I didn't know, but I should have.
We had scheduled the formal hearing for William Douglas Road this past February. He hired counsel and they filed a motion to continue to September 17th in Nashville. The judge granted that motion. Currently, y'all are scheduled to be in West Tennessee. The witnesses and the attorneys and the judge are going to be here on that Thursday. So we can file a motion to move the location or file a motion to continue. I don't know how friendly the judge might be about that, because we've already moved this case once. But feel free to discuss and I can guide if there's questions.
I guess a simpler question would be what dates are available for West Tennessee visit, if you will.
Sir, it's up to y'all. We could do October, we could do it beginning in 2027, we could do December, November, y'all are gathered. We haven't filed anything out past September. So the will of the commission.
What was it? Did we have some conflicts with the?
I think Chairman Beverly had some issues with the commissioner, the commission dates in those months. But
Sheriff Association.
there was a sheriff association meeting in August.
Chiefs is July.
You know. New sheriff schools in September.
I wasn't here to discuss, what y'all discussed.
We was talking about coming to see.
Okay, awesome, but I was thinking y'all probably still in Memphis and it's still 2 hours away. Thank you.
Maybe Jackson.
Yeah, I think we had a few folks reach out about Martin. This, you know, the school out there reached out.
Discovery Park.
University. I just think it's good that we, you know, we go east, you know, for the conference. I think it's good that we show that we're willing to go west a little bit to help relieve some of those folks. And I don't mind meeting Memphis. I'm all for it.
Now, I'll tell y'all, and I'm not trying to sway y'all one way or the other. We do have a weekly county decertification hearing set in August. Right now, they're planning here. That's not to push y'all one way or the other, but that's just saying that.
I think that's what we're discussing, the time, I think you should do it. Y'all know Village Sheriff Association.
I'm not worried about that myself, that's directly Ralph, but I'm gonna go with this board, the association.
Yeah, I mean, October, I mean, if we don't have anything planned, I mean, just because somebody can't make it, that's just part of it. I mean, you know, everybody's got stuff going on, so.
There's nothing holding us back from October. That's what I like.
I like October.
Yeah. Make a motion for October 2026. Or wherever we're going.
What we're singing.
West.
Yeah, that works. And that's actually a
vote on motion, does everybody kind of agree? What kind of set it for October?
What kind of dates are you, the third?
Be October 15th and 16th. Or those are the dates you all voted to have a meeting that work.
And y'all will get with us pretty soon on definitely being you and all that.
Well, yeah, well, we've got time to start. We've already had several folks reach out and offers. We can, you know, probably get some of our staff, make a field trip and go out there and kind of look at, scout out the locations and how it works. And so.
I'm sure I put this in my calendar. I think I might be able to one that's open.
You know, we'll get lodging and all those kinds of things set up and send out some invites.
Okay, now we'll discussion, move on to the Unicoi County.
Thank you. Made a vote.
Oh, do we need to?
There was a motion and a second. We just-
Well, I think we just had a
Was that-
motion. And a
Second.
second. But we do have a motion and a second by Jennifer, seconded by Commissioner Wilbur. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? So the motion brought over carries. Moving on to Unicoi County.
Unicoi County Sheriff's Office requested reinstatement of certification for Jonathan Dismaris. That was deferred to determine whether or not he would be required to attend basic or be allowed to do transition school. They came before us last month and it was deferred to let legal look into the matter a little bit and report back to us.
So it looks like we had Unicoi County Legal State, who's with us this morning?
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen of the commission. Chief Deputy Frank Rogers is present from Unicoi County Sheriff's Office. John Damaris is present. If it would please the chairman, I need to make a correction to a statement I made during the February meeting.
Okay, I was here in the February meeting, I can read you a bit on that, but does legal need to?
I think the position that we've landed on is that this was a decertification by default. The way I think historically that's been handled is that once someone's decertified, they start over from the beginning. So position would be that basically need to be retaken in order to get the individual back up and standing to be certified again.
So my understanding is we need to, one, determine whether we will reinstate, and then make a determination of whether he has to go back to.
Seems like we touched on that a little bit, we'll probably revisit again. At least whether or not to reinstate it, to whether or not it would only be transition school to basic, but like I said, since that time, historically it's been required to build at a base.
Just Commissioner Green, if my memory serves, this was a default certification, and he never appealed it during the proper time. And now, after a lengthy period of time, now he's wanting to get back into law enforcement and just act like it never happened. That pretty casual way to look at it.
Yeah.
Okay. Just thought I'd get that.
Chief Deputy, I think you said you had something you needed to correct from February.
Yes, during the February meeting, I had stated that the Unicoi County Sheriff's Department had paid for his academy. I need to make a correction on that. Since then, I've learned that that's not right. The Sheriff's Office hadn't sponsored that academy. It was paid for through his GI Bill. So I just wanted to be on the record correcting something that I told you that I've since found to be incorrect.
Say where kind of Commissioner Green was going with this, we really don't even know what he was up for decertification for at this point in time. Y'all may discuss it a little bit in February, but unfortunately I will not hear. So I don't know if we want to revisit that.
I don't remember
Had
what,
discussion on
Mr. Green, I don't remember what the decertification was, but the fact that he didn't come and he didn't appeal it, and now, like I say, over an extended period of time, he has come back wanting to re-enter law enforcement. And we can ask him, he's online.
Was this,
why was he terminated from the agency he was at before?
Chief, was this something to do with the police department? Was he was something that went on? I mean, he's here, we're all talking about it. Was this something to do with a whistleblower situation with the former administration of the police department? Is that what I recall?
Yes, he was an employee at the Irwin Police Department. There was an incident. The explanation of what the incident was has been previously provided for the commission. But he initially was submitted for decertification based on a failed psychological examination. Now, since that time, I've requested these records from the Irwin Police Department myself and haven't received any, but the only records I have is where we originally sent him for evaluation in 2016, and he was found qualified on the post form. And then in December of 2025, I had him reevaluated, and once again, he was marked as qualified. As to why he didn't appeal the process at that time, that's a matter for him to answer. And he is present and be happy to do that if it pleases the commission.
So was this done by the same administration that is currently before us and indicted and all those issues? Is that right?
Yes, sir. That's correct.
And was it my understanding he just got frustrated with the whole law enforcement situation and the police department and what was going on? Is that what I recall the discussion about?
That's right. And he.
And he was a victim of the administration submitting to basically run him out, that he was a mental health case for talking about issues that has now led to other issues with that administration.
Well, it's my understanding, but I haven't received, I've requested all these records from the Irwin Police Department, and they won't give them to me. But according to what he has explained to me, that it was issues, the same type of issues that has led to the former chief now being terminated from the town and decertified by this commission, and now he's formally indicted in the criminal court of Unicoi County. So I don't have any.
And what was that indictment for? What was he indicted on? Was it something to do with lying to this board or not submitting proper training and those kinds of things?
Yes, sir, Sheriff. That's my understanding of what the indictment was for falsifying records.
And so was any of this gentleman's paperwork included in possibly in some of that discussion for, the submittal of the decertification on him? No.
I don't think so.
Okay.
And Commissioner Martin, we do have a failed psychological for this individual submitted by our meeting in this time period there now.
All right, Mr. Desmarais, is that right?
Yes, sir, Damaris.
What can you tell us about your police history up to the point that all of this happened? How long have you been in law enforcement? When did you originally go through the academy? I think the commission's having a little bit of an issue with you not challenging it at the time. It seemed like law enforcement may not have been your top option anymore in your life, and now it's kind of resurfaced. Can you tell us a little bit about your history or past and why you want to step back in?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. When I returned from Iraq in 2011, I find myself without a job. I was a superintendent in the construction industry. When I came back to no job and 4 children at home and a wife, I had to reinvent myself. So I put myself through the academy here at Walter State. Shortly after graduating from Walter State, I was hired by Unicoi County, where I served as a road deputy, undercover narcotics, criminal investigations division. After several years of doing that, I was recruited by Reagan Tilson, the former chief of Irwin. Because of the pay and benefits were better and it fit my needs, I left Unicoi County on good terms. Worked for the town of Irwin for about five or so years. I gradually worked my way into, I was promoted to detective. Not long after holding that position, I started noticing some things that weren't kosher when it came to the chief. I had an incident there with a barricaded subject who I was instructed by the chief was an Iraq War veteran. As a crisis intervention team member, I went in and tried to negotiate with this person. When the chief showed up on the call with alcohol in his breath, it complicated an already complicated situation. Now, I'd seen the writing on the wall for several months before this. I'd gone to my supervisors with my concerns about it. But after that evening, I had made a decision that I was going to be done. So prior to resigning, they asked me to take a psych eval, which I did. After the eval, I let them know that I was not going to be coming back to work. I had been demoted after pointing out complaints to my supervisors and the former chief, went from detective going back to third shift. I could see the writing on the wall, so I had decided to resign. When I received the decertification letter, to be honest, I didn't see the point in fighting it. I have to live in this community. It's a small town. I already knew I was going to be blackballed by the chief if I were to try to hire or apply anywhere else. So I decided not to appeal it. But once the proverbial cow was let out of the barn and everybody could see what was going on, I thought it was a great opportunity to get back into the job I really enjoy doing. Now, I'm 59 years old as of today. I've served my country proudly. I've served in Iraq. I'm a combat decorated veteran. I have no complaints on my record whatsoever, not from Unicoi County and not from Irwin, Tennessee. No gross misconducts. Nothing along those ways as far as disciplinary actions. Since 2008, I spent over 2,700 days away from my family. And I'm at a point now where I'm throwing myself on the mercy of the committee, and I would like to obtain a waiver to take the transition school, and not particularly the academy. I really don't wish to take any more time away from my family. If you have any questions, I'll feel free to answer them for you.
Mr. Chairman, some questions. So when was your last day of full-time law enforcement in Irwin?
I believe it was October of 2021.
That's correct. October 1st.
I may be mistaken on that date. I don't have it from me. I apologize. I don't have the exact date in front of me.
October 1st, 2021 was the resignation day.
I can hear.
She said October 1st.
October 1st, 2021 is the resignation date we have.
Yes, ma'am.
What have you done since that time up until your reacquaintance with Unicoi County?
I've been doing odd jobs. I've been doing some carpentry work, things along that nature. I am a disabled veteran, so I do draw a little bit of disability, but it's been a real struggle.
Okay. Any other questions from commissioners? And I don't know if we want to take this into two separate matters or how we want to handle this. Mr. Maris, I think, the commission attempts to be and tries to be very consistent in the way we treat everybody during our course of tenure and even the tenure before we came in.
Yes.
What the commission has traditionally done. And the way I understand from legal, it is the fact that if we do reinstate you, that historically we have always sent everybody back to the full academy. So that's to be considered as well. I would suggest maybe we carry this in two separate motions. One, handle the reinstatement first and see where that goes. It may or may not matter about transition.
I understand, and it's I know this. I can sense this man's heart. I can sense what's going on there, and it's sad that it looks to me like that Irwin and the Unicoi County is moving in a positive direction. I understand this commission's thoughts, and I tend to agree. I mean, 2021 is now some time ago, and we've not had anything going on with him since then, other than nothing affiliated with training or more. But as far as the reinstatement, I make a motion to reinstate him, and then we can. I wonder what Joe want to do on that vote, and then we can talk over it. But I think everybody knows I've been one of those. Each one of us have our pet peeves up here. Some's DUI, some's different things, but mine has been domestic violence and mental health. We've seen many officers in this state fail psychological. Example, they leave a department, go to the highway patrol, they fail that at psychological, that the highway patrol submits. Whoever gives that test, and all these psychological tests are different, but then they come back to another agency and they take a new psychological and they pass. We're fine. It's kind of weird. There's no something we discussed it for another day, standardizations of psychologicals. But if Chief Rogers is sitting there with this man, that says a lot for me. Because of the integrity of Chief Rogers that I'm personally aware of. So I'm making the motion to reinstate, and then we can just kind of discuss and go from
Commissioner Lane, second. Then we have a motion by Commissioner Parton, seconded by Commissioner Lane for reinstatement. Is everybody clear on the motion? Any discussion?
Yes. And only because of the time period, and I'm sympathetic to what happened in Irwin and what he went through. But I am concerned the fact that you wait 5 years or better to come back to the commission, and not go ahead and bring it to us immediately. The psychological, I'm sort of with Commissioner Parton, that we see that go up and down because there is no standardization in psychological law enforcement right now in Tennessee, and I'd love to see that happen. But I am concerned the fact that there was never any initiative until today to come back and do this. And not even just to do that, but to just go immediately almost back into law enforcement again. So I don't know that I can support it. Well, and to kind of give a little more context, historically, the informal subcommittee, when matters of decertification have presented just for a failed psychological, especially as it relates, because I recall the situation, it was for possibly a PTSD related issue. The informal subcommittee had always taken no action based on the fact that in order to come back, he was going to have a passing on. So had he appeared or even appealed, that would have been squashed then, and this would even be an issue.
Okay, do we have any more discussion? The motion again is for reinstatement. All those in favor say aye. Opposed?
No.
No.
Short end, you want to do a roll call about? Just make sure.
You certainly can.
Very positive.
Okay, roll call vote. Commissioner Carter?
Aye.
Commissioner Green? No. Commissioner Jeffers? Aye. Commissioner Lane?
Yes.
Commissioner Parton? Commissioner Russell? Commissioner Wilbur?
No.
Commissioner Wright?
Aye.
Guys have it.
As the ayes have it. So congratulations on at least getting reinstated. Now the matter at hand would be the transition versus full academy.
What's give me the range again for, as far as somebody be made whole again? It's so somebody's out, 0 to 3 years, it's 40 hours in service and then
3 weeks transition after 7 is full academy. So we're not past the 7-year mark yet, are we?
Yeah, but that's not the issue. The issue is that the commission has always traditionally sent folks for reinstatement for decertification back to full basic. And so my concern would be if we vote to take a different route today, do we open ourselves up for those that we have told or forced to go back to basic to come back and have an issue with us at some point. I'm already in like 3 lawsuits, so we'll just add to the tab. But
yeah, well, lawsuits, but I go back to what you said, and that's what I was thinking is my time involved with informal committees. And he stepped up about this with this situation with PTSD and the psychological, this would have been a new home.
Yes, sir.
And I have to cut that out. I have to dissect that of what we have done historically. And we have 19 dozen votes and decisions made based upon that historically in a similar case that this gentleman would have. I feel like I know what's happened here. I feel like that once all this gentleman's been vindicated with what went on within his department, now that all that has come about and all the public things that have happened, and even now it's before us or has been before warrants, and now it's in the criminal courts of, I guess, Unicoi County. That he's now stepped out from behind the shadows and said, well, I was right. And he's got a chief deputy of the sheriff's office that is now sitting beside him saying, I put my life in this guy's hands and the citizens of Unicoi County is what I'm seeing. I've been in those spots. Many of you have too. And I'm all about the 3 and the 7 and the rules, but I also know that we as a jury are just like a jury. Every case has its different thoughts, ideas. Not everything that comes before us is identical, and everybody has a special situation. But in this matter, it's tugging on me in my heart that this man, this veteran, who is in a beautiful county that has been through an extraordinarily natural disaster in the last year or two. The resilience of the people of that county is amazing, but I commend him for stepping out. I commend him for exposing himself again. I'm going to support him going to the transition school and going back to work at Unicoi County and supporting Chief Rogers sitting there and helping those citizens. I'm one of those that if it don't feel right to me, it's generally not right. But in this matter, I feel wholeheartedly that this is the right thing to do for this man right here in this county. But that's just me. But I'm open to more discussion before a motion is made.
Any other discussion? Sure, why not? The opposed, Commissioner Green. And I'm sympathetic also, and I've been on this commission now for a little bit, but I go back to the historical of there have been wiser people on this commission than me. They kind of set a precedent on how we've acted in the past. I hate to be the one to, even though there may be exceptions, as you said, to come in and say, we need to change what we're doing with this person based on what he's been through. Because everybody has a sob story. Everybody needs a job. Everybody wants to come back. But if historically we've set a standard about how we hold people accountable, it's hard for me to defer from that. From the standpoint, again, like I say, there have been wiser people than me sit on this commission over the years, and they pretty much stood fast with this. And so that's my take.
And I agree with you, Commissioner Green, but I've also seen the cold-heartedness that some of those folks in the past too are to us. I've seen just the no. Everything was no. I've seen the times in the past when we've come up here and presented something and they wouldn't hear nothing. It was just a motion in a second. No. They've not heard the whole story. And I think what I'm seeing, and y'all know how frank I am up here, I think this man got raveled up in a railroading that messed him up mentally. I mean, if you've never been to Irwin, it sits in a hole of the Cherokee National Forest with a river running through the middle of the town. And it's miles from anywhere. And we've got that in all of Tennessee. And I know this is an extraordinary case. But based off what we have dealt with that administration, falsifying documents to this board, ladies and gentlemen, the man that put him where he was at, falsified documents here and is now under indictment. And he just walked away quietly, did not want to fight it, And now all this other has exposed, and now he's coming out from the shadows. I just have to stand up for this guy. I just gotta do it. And, I'm gonna support him going to transition school and getting back to the citizens and working and serving for Unicoi County.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
I would like, Commissioner Lane, I kind of go back to what the director said. You know, this is, if you look at this, had he appealed, this particular act would not even put him in a decertification process or in this predicament. I look at it as we go back, if you were going to criminal court, if the foundation is bad, then all the evidence that comes behind it means nothing. And so I thought his explanation of, being blackballed, I could see that. I absolutely could see that. So I'm with Sheriff Parton on this one. I think we should let him go to transition school. That's my 2 cents.
Mr. Maris, did I hear you say that today's your birthday?
Yes.
Right?
Yes, sir. 59 today.
Well, I'll go ahead and wish you a happy birthday and thank you for your service before we get to this next stage. You already got reinstated, so.
Well, thank you.
While I got the floor here for a minute, my concern is, everybody knows that I am one for keeping things consistent, not doing things outside of our normal, what we usually do. And I try to stay extremely consistent in my decisions and going forward. And we might need to, I'm on the informal subcommittee and I might be one of the ones that set you up for default. There's a great chance of that. Maybe we need to, on the subcommittee, look at those defaults a little closer, and some that probably, in this case, been psychological, may have just moved on with no action and let it service back later. We've been in this situation. To me, I feel like I would like to see him go back to the full academy, and I feel like we're giving him the blessing of being reinstated. And that if he wants to be a law enforcement officer bad enough, and I understand, and I'm sympathetic with the past and grateful for his service. But I think the academy would show us that he truly wants to be a deputy of Winfield County. Is there any other discussion?
Commissioner Russell, I concur with everything that Sheriff Parton said. Anytime we got a veteran, of course, I think that's something we need to consider too. All they gave to us, many that we've been up and down, especially if they're disabled veterans. So I support giving them the opportunity to go to transition school.
Commissioner Wilbur, I'm a rules follower. I empathize. I'm probably the biggest bleeding heart on this commission, but I'm a big rules follower. And after the default decertification, I would think that he would have fire in the belly to come here and to prove that he did not deserve to be decertified. He had the time, he had the notice of the time to appeal, and he chose not to do it. I understand why he's saying he did it, but for me, it's going to be enough.
And I'd like to elaborate on what you said from a law enforcement standpoint. Time and time again, for those of us that were trained by the old school folks, you were trained to suck it up, keep your mouth shut, and don't fight the system. We have evolved somewhat from that, and we're seeing more of this come out. We encourage our law enforcement officers, if they're having a bad day, to come to us as administrators or seek counseling. When I hired in 34 years ago, you wouldn't dare even mention it. If you were having a bad day, you were an outcast, you were a psycho, you were trash, and you couldn't be trusted. They didn't want you on a call with them. They didn't want you in the room with them. They sure as heck didn't want you in a car with them because it was taboo. And there's some folks sitting on this board that knows exactly what I'm talking about. That's where this guy's been. This is what's happened. And I want to break that. I want to break that trend because the seriousness of the things that are going on in our state, whether it's with the tragedies, with its politics, all things inclusive, it's just compiling more and more every day. I know it is for me. I mean, I feel like I've had years taken off my life since I've been sheriff, and I thought these would be my glory years. They're not. They're the worst years. As an administrator, it's my worst years, but I'm going to fight through it and I'm going to stick with it. That's what I wanted to elaborate on is, yes, I'm for the rules. But just like judges in the courts, we have laws and we have juries, and people can be accused, people can be arrested, but those courts, we're the court. And we make those decisions. We can go into, we're going to basically deliberate and discuss and vote. And that's the reason we have this system. Yes, we have some black and white things, but all things black and white can be changed. We see it on the national level, we see it on the state level, we see it on local levels. They change all the time. And that's the reason we're here. It's the reason we were all placed here was to weigh out these simple issues like this. And I would say this is simple. It's tough, but this man's not committed any crimes. He's not hit nobody. He's not beat up on nobody. He's not killed nobody. He just didn't show up and, like you said, come with fire in his belly. Yeah, he's got fire in his belly because he's here today. He didn't come. I know what happened. And you don't even have to answer. He didn't want to say nothing because there was a team of people in an administration that would have just come up here and loaded us up. They would have been up here in the Class A's. And whose word would we have took? More than likely the chiefs and their training officers and administration. And he was an outcast. Well, he's prevailed. He is a survivalist. They're the outcasts. They're the ones that's under indictment. They're the ones that had their mug shots made, and now he's here. I'm going to make a motion that we send him to transition school and we get this man back on the street working in Unicoi County. That's my motion.
That's one second.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor by Commissioner Parton, seconded by Commissioner Russell for transition school. Any more discussion? Some just clarification I would like to point out, legal can help with this. Rules has been mentioned twice, and there is not an official rule that says we cannot do this. That's just historical. That's correct. So as far as rules, I want to make sure that we're not.
And I will add, Mr. Chairman, that I'm not breaking any rules, but
We're not. We're not.
I do not want my co-commissioner Wilbur over here. Because I respect everybody in this room's opinion and decisions and their independence, and that's what makes us great. That's what makes us a good little group of people, that we can sit here and make these decisions that's dealing with somebody's entire career in life. And yes, we've had a lot of bad apples, a lot of bad apples. I don't think this man is a bad apple, folks, and we need to do a great service to the state and Unicoi County, and we need to put this guy back to work.
For my 2 cents, I don't get a vote or a say, and doesn't one way or the other. But I will say that it should be a difficult discussion. These are weighty matters. There is a ripple effect. It is somebody's career. It is a vote of the commission. Those are things to consider. So I appreciate that it has taken lengthy discussion because it is an important matter.
Mr. Chair, before we pass votes, I am familiar with Mr. Damaris's case. I read reports and just processing the totality of the circumstances. I agree with Charles Parker's sentiments as well.
Okay, we have any other discussion? Have a motion on the floor for transition schools. There's no more discussion. All in favor, say aye. Opposed?
No.
Have it in the roll call this way.
Roll call, Be sure can. Commissioner Carter?
Aye.
Commissioner Green?
No.
Commissioner Jeffers? Commissioner Lane?
Yes.
Commissioner Parton? Commissioner Russell? Commissioner Wilbur?
No.
Commissioner Wright?
No.
Ayes have it.
Congratulations. Mr. Ismaris.
Thank you very much, Commissioner.
Thank you very much.
Get you a birthday present from us.
And I appreciate y'all. Thank you very much.
I don't think it could have went any better for you. Wish you
Appreciate
luck.
what y'all do.
Again, wish you luck. Thank you for your service and happy birthday.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Moving on to new business.
Late submission of required documents, post-commission determined action for late submissions of 2025 in-service training, lesson plans, pre-employment paperwork, and waiver requests. Burns Police Department, Murfreesboro Police Department, and the Troy Police Department. We'll start with Burns. We have anybody from Burns?
Sir.
Chief. Good to see you.
Thank you, sir.
Tell us what happened.
Well, I hired Officer Ben Brooks in April of 2025 and submitted that paperwork via the case. My knowledge is that it didn't go through, and I didn't figure that out or find that out until later in the year when we started entering his service to find out that it wasn't submitted properly or it didn't go through. I submitted all the information that is needed, but Burns is a small town. We don't hire a lot of people. This is like the second person I've hired in 5 years. So I don't use a cadence a lot. So it just kind of got hung up in limbo somewhere. And then once I found out, we start in our direction of trying to get that correct.
Okay, Chief, can you give us your name to put in the record, please?
Chief Ron Holt.
Good, thank you, sir. Any questions from the commission? We won't handle each one of these separately, I suppose.
And I'd like to say that Ben Brooks was a certified officer from the Dixie County Sheriff's Office in 2018. It wasn't like a new hire right off the street.
Could those just describe all three of them, if they know what's going on with those six?
Being three different departments, I'm not sure which way is going.
Yeah, it sounds like there may be different views. Probably best to take them one at a time.
Mr. Chair, for the record, I'm going to have to recuse myself for the most of the matter.
Duly noted. All right, do we have a motion for the Burns Police Department?
Commissioner Green, motion to accept.
Orton second. A motion to accept the late submission by Commissioner Green, seconded by Commissioner Orton. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Any opposed? Moving on to Murfreesboro.
Thank you, Chief.
All right. I'm Amy Denton with Murfreesboro Police Department. I'm the GDI. I'm here today to request approval for submission of late training documents. I failed to report a FBI leader course for Captain Clayton Williams. So that left him in deficit for in-service for the year. He did do 53.5 hours of in-service last year, including all mandates. He did the FBI leader class out of state. So I failed to report it. Also did not catch that at the end of the year. I was 2 days past the deadline when investigator Cantrell brought it to my attention. So I'm here today requesting that you accept his training hours.
Commissioner Green, motion to accept.
Orton second. A motion to accept by Commissioner Green, seconded by Commissioner Orton to accept the late submission. Any discussion? Those in favor say aye. Any opposed? Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
And I'll point out that for the size of Murfreesboro PD, there's lots of room for error, and these folks hardly ever.
Right, no, no, there's no excuse, no excuse. No excuse. We got rules and you need to follow.
Listen, I have to drive to Murfreesboro. Let me get some kudos.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Troy Police Department, I see you already scooting up to the mic there.
Yes, sir.
Can you identify yourself with the rest of the commission, please?
My name is Chief Sammy Sneed. I'm with Troy Police Department.
All right, Chief, what can you tell us about this late submission?
Well, actually, it was just an oversight on my part. All the training had been completed. No excuses. My wife had a major surgery the 22nd of December. I did not return to work until the 15th of January. And when I went through my emails, I was notified by Mr. Cantrell that that part of the firearms training had not been submitted and that paperwork was turned in and corrected. Just an oversight on my part.
Okay, so how many officers do y'all have there at Troy now?
We only have 3.
Where is Troy?
It's in O'Brien County.
Oh,
Sheriff,
South Union City. Oh, way over yonder.
45 mile an hour to Troy.
Yeah. I don't know.
All day long.
I'll have to go see Troy out. I don't know that I've ever been to Troy. Motion to approve. Commissioner Gray, I'll second.
All right, we have a motion to approve by Commissioner Parkin to accept late submission, seconded by Commissioner Green. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? And I will be abstaining.
Moving on to lesson plans, following agencies were submitted late lesson plans for the 2025 calendar year, Gainsborough PD and Johnson City PD.
All right, it is Gainsborough Police Department. Have you here with us this morning? Not hearing you. Looks like you're unmuted.
Sir.
Oh, there you go. We got you now. Can you identify yourself for us, please?
Chief Michael Smith, Gainsborough Police Department.
Chief Smith, what can you tell us about the late submission here?
It was my fault, and I thought I'd submitted our firearms training, and I was just late doing it. It's all my fault. Can't blame it on anybody else.
Commissioners have any questions?
Commissioner Green, motion to accept.
Order second. I have a motion by Commissioner Green, seconded by Commissioner Carter to accept lesson plan. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, Gainsborough, looks like good to go, Chief.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Johnson City Police Department. You with us?
Yes, sir.
Who was speaking with this morning?
It's Lieutenant Andy Clevenger with Johnson City Police.
Lieutenant, what can you tell us about your?
Yes, what happened with us is when we submitted our original in-service lesson plan, we included 8 hours of firearms training. One thing that we missed with that is we weren't able to do an actual qualification score during the training due to some upgrades being done on our firing range. We later on qualified, and we did our actual firearms qualification at the in October of last year. And I was under the assumption I could go ahead and submit that with our in-service training, but I later found out I had to do a lesson plan. So we ended up missing that lesson plan before the deadline.
Question, any commission? None, entertain motion.
Motion approved.
Russell, second.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Jeffers, seconded by Commissioner Russell. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Lieutenant, looks like you're good to go.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Yes, sir. Pre-employment packs.
Well, this was also the Burns Police Department. We kind of took care of that matter already in the previous vote together with the lesson plan, so we can probably just move past that. Okay. We'll move on to Lake Tansy. PD in the matter of Keenan Austin and Jeremy Dara. And Lake Tansy is a private police department there. And they are just now falling under the new statute that requires, them to submit paperwork if they have folks that are going to be in compliance with the post rules. And so when that went into effect in January, they submitted packets for these hires to get them on their roster because they're going to be in compliance with the post rules.
So we just need a motion to accept both.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to accept both.
Russell, second.
We have a motion, Commissioner Jeffers to accept, seconded by Commissioner Russell. Have the Tansy Police Department with us.
I'm here, sir.
Thank you, muted.
Yeah, I think you're muted. Can you get off mute and identify yourself real quick? Keep the record.
Hello, can you hear me?
We got you there now.
Hey, Chief Austin, Lake Tansy Police Department. I am one of the individuals on that list. As it was stated that our department, just with laws changed and become a department, we were security private at that time before then. So I'm here to see what the commission needs and do whatever we can to move forward with that.
Well, it looks like we've already got all your paperwork stuff took care of, and there's a motion on the floor to approve it. And is there any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, motion passes. Chief, you're good to go.
Thank you, Commission.
Yes, sir. Waiver requests.
Due to an oversight, the LaFollette Police Department failed to submit a change of academy waiver request for the following officer. Joseph Hicks. He was hired in January of 2024. He attended Walter State in July of 2012, but did not complete due to withdrawn. He graduated from Toledo in July of 2024. And this was just something that they caught and they brought to our attention that was not done. They wanted to make sure it is kind of backdating, moving backwards a little bit, but they want to make sure they had all the paperwork documented in the employee's records so that everything is, done in accordance with this.
Goes to motion to approve.
Have a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Jeffers. Any discussion?
Got you.
Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Was there anybody from LaFollette on?
Yes, sir, I'm here.
All right. Is there anything that you need to add or anything? Did we catch it all?
No, I caught it all and I greatly appreciate it. Thank you.
Can you identify yourself real quick so we get that in the record?
Yes, Chief Forsyth, Chief Matthew Forsyth of LaFollette Police Department.
Thank you, Chief. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Legal reports.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. The ALG appeal process report, we handled that last month, and with the commissioners overall feeling that the appeals need to come to y'all. So if we have a one-off operator or we need to ask to send one to an ALJ, we will, but right now I think we're still moving forward. Setting dates with along with the commission meetings. One of the things that we started talking about last month, to follow up with y'all on, is that starting in July, is it the commission's will to set those for 10 o'clock on Thursdays and then have the informals happen after the business meeting on Fridays, or does the commission have a different scheduling preference?
Yeah, I mean,
Just that way we're not here till 6, 7 o'clock at night on Thursdays. And the informals are typically an hour, hour and a half. And so we can do those on Friday afternoons pretty easily.
My initial thought is I don't like anything that adds to Friday.
yeah.
So
That was why we moved hearings off.
we moved hearings to 1, and then it's up to y'all. It's just that we're here till 6 or 7 on Thursdays. So if y'all are, I talk fast, but I don't know how much.
Thursdays are easier than Fridays because we're late, we're here all night. Most of the time, we're here all night anyway.
We're gonna be here anyway.
You're gonna be here anyway.
What time do we, so?
It's just what time. Yeah, and the Fridays for the travel for, I mean, I just hate the meetings on Fridays, period. Mondays or Tuesdays. for Me, but, this, the travel for those from the far reaches of the state, and those of us is just an hour down the road, that's for 45 minutes.
So would y'all want to keep informals at 9:30 on Thursdays and then start the formal at noon? So you have just a 1 hour lunch break?
And that was how the conversation started last month, was Commissioner Green. Asking to move to noon, but you guys in the discussion brought up some other stuff that we just wanted to kind of close the loop on, you know, or understand more about
I think
what
when
you
you wind
like.
up, I think when you wind up moving it to noon, I mean, in all aspects of it, you're buying yourself another, to wind up getting things moving, get it rolling. And, try to get out of Dodge before rush hour runs you over. At least that's me. But I mean, I'm comfortable with going one to two. Thursday.
The only thing about one, it's always been is the informal ends fairly early and then we're like killing a couple of hours.
Exactly.
When it would be just as easy to start at noon
We can start.
and add that hour.
We can start setting the noon.
My side of it, is like, yesterday, experience come up for the informal at 9:30, so I'll come up on Wednesday night. But the formal was then, we had an agreed order, so then after that, yesterday, just gave me a great opportunity to get caught up on a bunch of work that I need to do for work. But there's a lot of sitting around in the hotel. And if we did just the formals on Thursdays, and I don't know that I'm necessarily in favor of it, but if we did them just on Thursdays, if there was an agreed order, then that would take out a day of travel for some potential.
We're hoping we kind of have a plan to first and second set like jury trials do, so that if one settles, we wouldn't waste a whole trial date. We haven't figured out all the details of that yet, but maybe working a way to not lose so many court dates.
If we could pull that off.
Yeah, it's just like setting anything for court. I mean, things go and things don't go, and things you go and you rush up there and you're all prepped to testify, and then bam, they settle it. And you did all this prep work and to get your say so out. It's so disappointing.
You working that shift.
Work night shift.
Staying up late.
Did all
It's
that.
just the nature of the job, but Fridays.
No.
But Fridays are tough in Nashville, Tennessee. I mean, it's just, and like I said, for me, it what to do, but for those that come from the far west and the far east, unless you got an airplane, you get blind. And you get to skip over the two flip semi trucks on the westbound side of I-40 this morning. Yeah, I mean, Fridays are just
So what I'm hearing is that the will of the commission is to keep informal at 9:30, start the formals at noon, and then only have business meeting on Fridays.
That'd be great.
Okay. The next thing we have is.
Agreed order surrender for Christopher Trayvon Curry. Mr. Curry was employed by the Dyersburg State Community College Levy until his termination in July 2024. He was referred to an informal disciplinary hearing by the Post Commission. After our investigators presented a report of findings, he has agreed to surrender his post certification.
Commissioner Jefferson, I make an order to accept.
Russell, second.
We have a motion to accept the surrender by Commissioner Jeffers, second by Commissioner Russell. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed, no. Motion carried to accept the surrender.
We have a settlement proposal for Juan Pablo Lugo Perez. The commissioner consider a proposed settlement order regarding Mr. Lugo Perez termination from the Warren Police Department for violations of departmental policies and procedures relating to unreported sexual relationships, sexual harassment, lying during the course of investigation, conduct of becoming an officer.
So this is a settlement that Attorney Bird and I discussed to propose to you guys. And after reviewing the evidence as far as Mr. Lugo Perez's involvement, legal believes that the proof would lead to a similar outcome if we try this case. The conduct that Mr. Byrd will probably discuss with you guys is nowhere close to the other members of the involvement in the manipulation of the investigation and stuff. The facts are just not as strong for Mr. Perez as they are for some of the other members in that matter.
What is the actual proposal?
It is 3 years out of as a out of service time served. His last day of employment was January 2023, so he would be reinstated. He found an eligible agency. He would also have to go to transition school, and I believe that's it. I'll let Mr. Byrd add if there's anything else we discussed, but I think that's what the agreement.
I don't believe so, other than I would just point out, as has been discussed here before, the burden this man's gonna have to overcome if he is to be hired by an agency. He's gonna have to explain everything that occurred, his participation in it. I agree, the facts of his portion of this is quite different than other members that the commission is familiar with. He is currently employed as a plumber. He has a very strong desire to go back into law enforcement and comply with any other conditions that the commission would put upon him to be able to come back to work.
Commission members have any questions about the proposed settlement?
Commissioner Wilbur, did he resign in lieu of termination? Was he terminated?
He was terminated. I did not represent him in that process, but he was terminated.
Discussion? My part, I do think legal's probably pretty spot on to me. It seems like that's a pretty just proposal. That will have a pretty hard, tough time selling himself to another department as well, in transition school. Come in and have a long Thursday.
I'll make a motion to.
All right, sir. And I'm not trying to pressure decisions. We have a motion to approve the proposal by Commissioner Pardon, seconded by, was that Commissioner Carter? Commissioner Carter. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? I heard both sides.
I presented freedom.
Okay, I think we still, the ayes will still carry. So that will pass if it has accepted that proposal.
Thank you. That's okay. Thank you, Counselor. Seventh proposal, Christopher Michael Vest. Commission to consider a proposed settlement order regarding Mr. Vest's termination from the Tullahoma Police Department for violation of department policies and procedures while still in the probationary status.
Hey, can you identify yourself for us, please?
Doug Thibodeau, attorney for Officer Vest.
Mr. Thibodeau and his client have brought this proposal forward. I did help them with the formatting and stuff, but because it's a probationary offering, not a surrender, not a suspension, I'll let him kind of present what they're offering the commission is.
And just for clarification, this happened in April of 2025. Since that time, Officer Vest has been employed with the Montego Police Department, where he still is driving. Chief Freeland and the city administration stand behind him through this matter. The proposed offer was for a probationary period of 12 months, attending complete transition school, 80 hours of in-service for the year of 2026, covering topics such as use of force, sexual harassment, responding to mental health, and leadership courses appropriate to his rank. Also to attend a crisis intervention team class consisting of 40 hours and forgo salary supplement 3 years, 2026, 27, and 28. Since our initial submission of the proposal, Officer Vest has taken it upon himself to do the following: either has already been or will be attending a use of force liability issues class, which is 1 hour. He completed that in February. Active shooter, which is scheduled for the end of this month, which is 16 hours. The crisis intervention team, we talked about 40 hours, which starts in April. Advanced leadership and supervisor training, which is a 24-hour class that starts in June. Sexual harassment for managers to be completed before June, and sexual harassment for law enforcement also.
Commissioner Wilbur, I think this was up for informal, and if I remember correctly, he grabbed a patient in the hospital around the throat.
He put his hands close to the person's neck. There is a still shot of a video floating around that is 0.5 seconds where his hands are close to the person's neck and hitting him.
And then he also referred to a female officer about her breastfeeding.
He did not. The allegation is that he did that. That was hearsay. Sergeant Best, at the time, he was hired as a probationary sergeant with Tullahoma. He was in the room. He acknowledges that he was in the room. He denies making a comment, but he also acknowledges as a supervisor, he should have done something when the comment was made. Hence the training on sexual harassment. And he is no longer a supervisory capacity. He works as an officer.
Questions from the commissioners? By Mr. Tindall.
And for what it's worth, commissioners, he's been in law enforcement for 18 years. This is a lot for somebody to deal with. Prior to this, he's had one disciplinary issue. That was in 2000. It was for cursing. That was handled internally. Other than this incident in Tullahoma, he has not had any disciplinary issue since that time. 18 years in law enforcement, that's a pretty good track record. Mr. Best or Officer Best has other options outside of law enforcement. He chooses to follow this path because he wants to remain in law enforcement.
This is Commissioner Grant. I'm reading the document. I'm just some clarity. It says probationary class suspension period.
I caught that. Yeah, that was.
So if we say suspension, he's not employed for.
Right, but that should have said probationary. That was the top of
Okay. Yes, I bracketed it for them to, when they were preparing their document, for them to select one, and I think just the selection didn't get certified.
that one didn't get done. It's since been updated.
I can correct that.
Do we need to make a motion to correct it, or just correct it?
I'm just gonna circle it on the one I scan in unless you guys have a different preference.
I'm good with you, just.
Wasn't sure if you were giving us the option.
No, so that was my fault. I own that. I went through and took all the other brackets out, looked at it again last week. I forgot.
Just take a second here to look over the one yourself. I didn't take full of. Any other questions? Commissioner?
Commissioner Jeffers, I'll make a motion to accept the settlement.
Commissioner Green, I'll second.
I have a motion to accept the agreement by Mr. Jeffers. Seconded by Commissioner Green. Any other discussion?
I'll be abstaining.
Duly noted. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Have it. Looks like your settlement proposal passed through.
Thank you. Thank you,
Yes,
sir.
sir. Memphis Police Department.
Memphis Police Department request to rescind request for decertification and request a reinstatement of the certification of Carrington Height. Mr. Height entered an agreed order of suspension of post certification on December 13th of 2024. And Counselor, if you just would identify yourself and kind of explain what's going on and how we got here.
Jimmy Thomas, Senior Legal Advisor for the Memphis Police Department. Officer Height was arrested for DUI in February 2020. Shortly thereafter, there was an administrative hearing held, issued punishment, days off not terminated. The case went to trial in January of 24, ended in a hung jury. And the DA's office ultimately settled that matter, allowing Mr. Hyde to plead guilty of the non-judicial conversion. He pled guilty. An additional disciplinary file was created as adherence to law under our policy DR 105, and he was terminated subject to that. He appeals his termination through the grievance process as outlined in the Memphis Police agreement with the Memphis Police Association, and successfully won that arbitration. And the arbitrator ordered that he be given his job. The basis was that the facts in which he was disciplined on in May of 2020 were available to the hearing officer at that time. And we essentially created another disciplinary matter out of the same facts and circumstances to which he wasn't fired in addition a disciplinary hearing. Based on that, the arbitration, the employment grievance, we asked the commission to allow us to rescind our motion for decertification.
And to kind of fill in the gap, the timeline, they had submitted him for decertification. He had signed an agreed order because there was pending litigation with the city. So it'll need to be reinstated and then take up the matter whether or not you want to accept the.
Just to give you the timeline of how much time passed, he was in a non-enforcement capacity at the time he was arrested until the date of the hearing, which I think was in October or June, right around. We had a disciplinary hearing that we had in the order signed in 2025 or 2024.
Yeah.
Have pending litigation. Correct. So we don't. Then we decide if we want to rescind, allow them to rescind.
Mr. Chairman, I have a question. Where was he initially arrested?
He was arrested in
From the Memphis Police Department. That's right.
When did the actual incident occur? Start this?
February 9th, 2020.
Why don't we just put him into an agreed order suspension until this got cleared up?
Correct. From what I recall, looking at the order, he's been made whole, reinstated, back paid. So
he's still in a non-enforcement status pending
because of the suspension, correct.
Commissioner Jeffers, considering the legal standing and everything's gone through there, I'll make a motion to rescind the decertification.
Rescind and reinstate?
Say we needed two separate items, so the first one would be just to rescind and then the reinstatement be a separate.
Motion to rescind by Commissioner Jeffers, is there a second?
Russell, second.
Commissioner Russell, second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, the motion is passed to rescind. Now, the reinstatement. Discussion.
Commissioner Jeffers, I'll make a motion to reinstate, given the evidence that's been given to everyone.
A motion to reinstate. Mr. Hyde, is there a second?
Russell, second.
Mr. Russell, second. Any discussion?
Commissioner Green, it's kind of a weird thing from the standpoint where you have an arbitrator come in and say they have to reinstate, but he doesn't have a certification to do that. So it almost puts us in a bind from the standpoint of what do they do if we don't approve his reinstatement? They've been told to hire him back. I'm not disagreeing or anything. It kind of puts the commission in a weird position.
It definitely could.
So.
Or put them in a weird position.
It puts them in a weird position about doing it, keep them in an administrative position.
We have a motion by Commissioner Jeffers to reinstate. Was there a second?
There was.
Oh, yeah.
Commissioner Russell, second. Any more discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None. Congratulations, Memphis. Good luck here.
Thank you. We have no objection to moving the entire proceedings to West Tennessee.
We know where to find us.
Absolutely. I do have two agreed matters that will move onto the agenda when we start the meeting. The first is the agreed order of Sean Sajak.
This is an agreed order of surrender. Mr. Sajak was the hearing that was scheduled for yesterday, but he and his counsel submitted a signed agreed order of surrender that we'd asked for your approval.
Motion to approve.
Second.
So we have a motion by Commissioner Russell, second by Commissioner Jeffers to accept the surrender. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
And we also have the agreed order in the matter of Todd Dorse of the Millersville Police Department.
So at the February informal, Mr. Doris came before the subcommittee. He has criminal charges pending, and so he signed an agreed order of suspension pending criminal litigation that we've been doing with respondents that are in that situation. And this suspends his post certification until the conclusion of the criminal matter, or if it's taken too long and he decides he'd rather just have the informal process start. Either way, the respondent's required to notify us whenever he wants to go forward.
Motion to approve.
Have a motion to approve the agreed order of surrender. Is there a second?
Commissioner Jeffers, second.
Commissioner Jeffers first, second, any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Moving on to post investigator.
Post investigators report findings of investigation conducted on the following agency, the Saltillo Police Department.
Kevin Creed, post investigator. We received information that Ashley Smith was working with Saltillo Police Department, driving an unmarked, or driving a police vehicle with its lights on, so other information regarding that. I went to Saltillo in February 4th of this year and met with the mayor of that town, Ashley Smith. The mayor brought her on as a reserve officer. They did not have any pre-employment packets for her, any information in the CADIS or anything like that. Since this time, we've gone through a lot of trouble to try to make them accurate in the CADIS and get them on board and in the system. But there's a problem with these small towns that we have where they have a reserve officer for the whole town, and that's all they have, a part-time reserve officer, and they have no GDI. They have no one to access a CADIS, input all these employment packets and stuff like that. So that was a troubling task for our department to get them on board without a GDI and all that stuff. Keisha Phillips and Mr. Lakita Taylor worked with this department for a while to try to get that paperwork in order and stuff like that. But the actual incident of driving and blue lights, that was the actual problem. Ms. Smith did admit that when I interviewed her that she did use blue lights on during the Christmas parade. She was in a lead vehicle during the Christmas parade, and she had her blue lights on driving the vehicle in the Christmas parade. So it wasn't validated that she was doing traffic stops or anything like that, using blue lights to pull people over. I did also contact the 911 center, and they have no traffic of her doing any police powers or anything like that. And by interview with the mayor and Ms. Smith, she has done no police powers, no interactions and stuff like that. She goes to the town meetings and sits in the corner, but she's not being paid for those meetings and stuff like that. She's not doing any police activity. Since this incident took place, that department and that town worked with us over periods of time to try to make it accurate. She, if you remember the name, she is an ex-Tennessee trooper that was up for decertification with this board. She's not decertified at this time, so she's still able to work in law enforcement capacity. So she admitted to use the blue lights leading a Christmas parade, and that's it. So that's the only information I was able to come up.
You say that they're working to get it all corrected. Did they actually get her recruiting? Because it looks like in your report it said it was attempting to recruit her as reserve.
The information that the mayor said is he brought her on back in August, I believe, of 2025. And just never really worked like shifts and stuff like that. She was just there to help her town and stuff like that for different events and stuff like that. Like I said, she led the Christmas parade and stuff like that. No enforcement powers, no tickets, nothing like that that was done. And they are aware of the post rules and know that part-timers have to meet pre-employment standards and all the information. Training, still have to do the 40 hours every year, training mandated hours. But like I said, the problem with a lot of these small towns now, with the push rules possibly coming in with all of them being entered into a CADIS, if there is a one part-time officer for that department, who's the GDI, who enters the information to CADIS? So that's just the issue we had with our staff to try to figure out how to navigate that and get that into the system, because push rules say every department has to have a GDI. And to be a GDI, you have to be a full-time officer for so many years and stuff like that. So a part-time officer, it's not a full-time officer. So we navigated that, and we have a solution for that right now.
So is it fair to say that while the mayor described her as being a reserve officer, she's not really working in that capacity?
That is correct. Yeah. Well, she's like she said, she was just there to help out her town and when needed and stuff like that. She led the Christmas parade, stuff like that. The town purchased her a gun, and he also let her have the vehicle. So the vehicle was parked in her driveway. She admitted that the police car for the town was parked in her driveway, and that she was working on it and doing repairs on it. This is a very small town and doesn't have that much financial. So she was working here and there, trying to maintain that vehicle, to try to keep it running for when she was going to be doing anything. But it's an unmarked vehicle. It's not a marked vehicle. It does have emergency equipment on it and blue lights. And like I said, she only said she used it during the Christmas parade, leading the Christmas parade.
What was the nature of the complaint? Obviously, it had to be something that came into us for us to be investigated in the first place.
Running blue lights.
Yeah, they had an uncertified.
Yeah, uncertified
officer working in the town. So she is certified. So it does sound if they plan to use her in that capacity, they just need to submit the paperwork that she's working in that capacity.
Mr. Krieger, do they have an election over there this year?
I don't think this year. There is some. There is some.
Just the season be election.
There is some political input from this. That was discussed. But like I said, yeah, but like I said, Ms. Smith, she worked for THP. She had a psychological, all that information, was ready to rock and roll to be certified. But they didn't know they had to keep it on file. They really don't have a police department that's active all the time. So they were just educated on the post rules. And
it's hard when you're just a part-time town.
Yeah.
To do full-time stuff.
The mayor is, yeah.
And, something we might need to look at, I think we talked about it before, your town should be so big or have some kind of, should have so much in your general fund or,
support and rules and staffing.
Or they revert back to another agency, or I would say the state of Tennessee would have to put.
We can give it to the county sheriff. So this actually has a discussion with the 911 center also, because the 911 center wasn't going to let her use the radio because she wasn't a full-time officer. But according to post rules, you could be a part-time officer.
Under 20 hours.
Yeah, under 20. So I think the 911 center is re-evaluating the policies for getting her able to be.
For sure.
So is there anything that this body needs to do?
No, just know in the future that some of this may come back up with the ACADIS access and stuff like that for part-time police departments with GDIs and get their files to us.
We, in seriousness, we have got to address that with so many small departments, you know, 1 and 2 or 3 people departments and then part-timers, and it's just.
And we've worked with some agencies to have time GDI because they were full-time somewhere else. And we do have some small towns that it's like the court reporter or the city clerk, you know, or somebody in HR, some administrative assistant that has access that's doing the pre-employment files. So we do try to work with some of those small folks, not hang them up unnecessarily. So,
And it says, actually, Ms. Cooper initiated like a roundtable for our department, for our team to come up with a game plan of how we're gonna address this in the future, because this was one of the cases that's coming about that's gonna be more prevalent with us. So we do have a game plan in place, thanks to Ms. Cooper, so we'll be able to work through it from here.
Do we need a motion or anything on this?
yeah, just
Motion to take no action.
Yeah.
Motion to take no action.
Russell second.
I would have a motion, no action, and then just approve the investigative report. And second by
Russell.
Mr. Russell. Any discussion? None, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. Motion passes. Public comments.
no public comments. Before we adjourn, I do want to take a moment to point out, in addition to our team, we have recently, and as of this morning, our HR has approved Ms. Cooper to be our new post. So
Thank you. I'm excited. I'm very grateful for the opportunity. Excited about what's ahead.
Trying to get us.
Before we adjourn too, and I hope you don't mind me bringing this up, but we keep Sheriff Spangler in our prayers. He said it was a setback. Why he's not with us, I hope you don't mind me disclosing that. But keep him in your thoughts, for sure.
And I appreciate Commissioner Wright stepping up as our chair. Did an excellent job today.
No tomatoes thrown at him, right?
I mean,
Anything else? I need a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion to adjourn. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Don't